Season 3 of the Weekly Governance Boys is back, and of course, back with a bang. And we want to start with the chief, the man who holds the helm. And we want to ask him a few questions about what's the plan. It's a new year, it's a new season as well, and much more. Thank you so much for always joining us. And of course, I hope you have subscribed to this particular channel. And of course, hoping that you're really enjoying these particular conversations. Thank you once again and welcome. In the house today, we have FCS Jeremiah Karanja, who is the Chief Executive of the Institute of Certified Secretaries. FCS Jeremiah, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yes. And thank you so much for allowing us to have you in the inaugural show, which is the Weekly Governance Voice. And just want to dive in straight to really helping the viewers understand about the Institute. And when people say that, because a lot of people sometimes have misconceptions when they hear about Institute of Certified Secretaries, what's your mandate when we come to really why you exist?
Yeah. Thank you. The certified secretaries profession is not new or is not unique to Kenya.
Yeah.
It has its origin from UK in the 1800s. And the philosophy behind it was that the secretary was the keeper of king's secrets. And that's how it emerged. And then in the board, you require a keeper of board secrets, and who was then the secretary. So over the years, the board secretary has been the keeper of board secrets. And part of that work over the years included taking minutes, keeping records for the board. But today that role has evolved. In addition to those traditional roles, the secretary is more responsible on matters governance, to advise the board on issues compliance, ethics, and related matters. So coming to Kenya, for a long time, being an English colony, of course, we did not have our own profession, and members who were practicing here were mostly from UK, the Chartered Institute of Administrators and Secretaries of UK, until the early 90s, when the profession was established through an Act of Parliament, Cap 534, the laws of Kenya. In 1989, the Institute itself became operational around 1991. And that's when the first members were admitted. And even then, the profession was mostly traditional in nature, where we had company secretaries whose major role was issues of compliance, filing, for instance, returns with the Registrar of Companies, issues of incorporation of companies, changes, statutory changes. If, for instance, you want to change a board or shareholding in a company, which even today we still do. But later on, with evolution of the way institutions are run, then the issue of governance became at the center of board operations. And therefore, today's company secretary, in addition to the previous roles, which involved compliance, issues of records, today's company secretary, we call them the conscious or the board. They are the ones who support boards, matters, governance. And therefore, to answer your question in one sentence, is that the Institute of Certified Secretaries is a statutory professional body created at Cap 534, the laws of Kenya, PSK Act, with a mandate of promoting governance. And we do so by regulating certified secretaries who are members of the Institute, examined by CASNEB, registered by the Registration of Certified Public Secretaries Board, and eventually become members of the Institute.
Wow. Thank you so much. And I love the context, because I didn't even know there was a king kind of conversation and the secrets and everything else. And you've mentioned in your context matters to do with governance. You mentioned something to do with corporate leadership. And I wanted to understand, just dig deeper, when it comes to governance and corporate leadership, what's your role as ICS?
Yes, that is where our key mandate is on matters governance. Because professional bodies get their mandate from the members they regulate. Our members that we do regulate, their key function in the organizations which they work for are issues to do with governance. So just maybe a few definition of terms so that we can provide a context.
Yeah.
Every member of the institute is called a certified secretary.
Yeah.
Or you can call them certified public secretary. That is actually the title that is there in the act.
Okay.
But then the exact title you get depends with the organization you work for and the position you hold. If you are practicing your trade as a certified secretary in a private company, then you'll be called a company secretary. If you are practicing your trade as a certified secretary in a state corporation, then you are called a corporation secretary. If it's in a statutory board, then you are called a board secretary, a council secretary, a trust secretary, based on the organization you work. There are also others who would be called governance officers, ethics officers, based on the titles that the institution made.
Okay.
But the bottom line is that the key function of a certified secretary, when they are practicing their trade in their respective organization, is to advise the such organizations on matters governance, matters ethics, and matters compliance and rated areas.
Okay.
And therefore, deriving from what our members do, then as an institute, what we do then is to support our members carry out their function.
Yeah.
And therefore, over the years, the institute has supported, for instance, the government of Kenya. You may have heard of a document called Muongozo, which is the code of governance for state corporations in Kenya, which the institute developed on behalf of SCAC, the State Corporations Advisory Committee, and Public Service Commission. We have worked with other stakeholders like the Capital Markets Authority, supporting them to develop the code of governance for issuers of securities to the public. We have worked with the Tea Board of Kenya, currently developing a code of governance for the tea sector.
Yeah.
And so many others. We also partnered with a group called Hesabika to develop a code of governance and guidelines for churches in Kenya, and so many other sector-based codes of governance. Currently, we are in discussions with constitutional commissions and independent offices on how we can support them on matters governance. So beyond the codes of governance, the institute also does a lot of capacity building and sensitization on matters governance. And therefore, most institutions in Kenya either have interacted with the institute, either we have trained their boards or senior management on matters governance. Some come to us to help them review their governance documents. And all this we do through our members, because our members, when I talk about the institute is members.
Absolutely.
As the CEO, I'm responsible for oversighting the secretariats running the day-to-day operations of the institute.
Yes.
But it's not the secretariat which does those work, those kind of work. It's the members of the institute. So what we do is that if, give an example, a certain institution wants us to train their boards, then we involve our members to go and carry out those functions.
Yeah.
And lastly on that is one product that the institute came up with on governance audits, where our members go out to institutions to carry out governance audits, check the way, the structures, the policies, the processes that organization in terms of governance and give recommendations and areas of improvement. That one is done by members of the institute who are accredited, trained and accredited.
Okay.
But a similar version of that is what we call the Champions of Governance Awards.
Yes.
Where again the institute would come to institutions, do a very basic assessment just to have a feel of how the organization is run, and then such organizations are able to compete amongst their peers, so that they can know where they lie in terms of governance practices.
Wow, that's quite a context as well. And actually, you've alluded to one of the questions I wanted to ask you about some of the key milestones. And I appreciate you mentioned some of the institutions, very significant institutions that you have alluded to. But I also wanted to put you on the spot and ask you, when we talk about governance in the country, I mean, we are still rated globally.
Yes.
We need to do a lot of work, especially some sweeping, especially in the government. Corruption is a mention in itself. And I'm sure this is part of the conversations you have, especially when you're training boards that are in government, boards that are also in private sector, and you're dealing with this. So looking at the matter of governance, because corruption is a governance issue as well, what would you say we need probably to do, or what is this that is lacking?
Yes, of course, we cannot run away from that. We are right in the center of it.
Absolutely.
When there is poor governance in the country, one has to ask themselves several questions. What are we not doing, or what are we doing? So maybe just to again give a bit of context.
Yes.
One of the things that even at the institute leadership we have been discussing is
go ahead.
Is what we would call institutional governance. Vis-a-vis political governance. What is exactly our mandate? Because our members offers governance in the context of organizations. They advise boards of institutions. But then we also have the wider society, the government at large. As it is now, legally speaking, we may not claim that we have that mandate, because that then goes to what we call constitutional democracy and all that. However, is an area that, as the leadership of the institute, we have been discussing. Is it something that maybe because the political governance at the end of the day also affects the corporate governance?
Yes.
So I would say, as it is now, our mandate has mostly been constrained within the context of organization, what we call corporate governance. Having said so, we also know there are quite a number of institutions which are failing because of poor governance. And one of the key reasons is because sometimes people think maybe the best way to save costs is to have some shortcuts. So you fail to engage the services of a professional because you think professionals are expensive. We see that across all sectors, including the built industry, where you see instead of engaging an architect, you get miner here who has never done anything of that. And pay him 5,000. So even on these matters of governance, you find some of these institutions which are in the media, they don't have governance professionals to support them. So one of the things we tell institutions, then number one thing, you must engage a governance expert.
Absolutely.
As a company secretary, a certified secretary who is trained and also regulated. So when things go wrong, they can also be taken to task by the institute. As the board was making this decision, what was your role? Did you actually advise the board? The other thing is, of course, the human nature. Because even in the religious circles, as most of us, some go to church every Sunday or the mosque, and every week you are given a message of how you need to behave. But come Monday, resort back to your bad behaviors. So sometimes it's not that people don't know. It's that some people just decide to be bad. So somewhere I was this week, somebody said that in their church, they normally say God is good all the time. And that in reverse also means man is good, but not all the time.
Not all the time.
So there are times that human beings will be good.
Yes.
Other times they are not good. So that is one of the areas that we need to see how to improve on matters governance for institutions.
Wow, lovely. And thanks for that context. I want to bring a two-part question here with you, and it's about the membership. What I've also looked, I've seen that you're also doing a membership drive, and I wanted to know the objective behind it, and also to also understand who is eligible to become a member. And before you answer that question, I just wanted to alert the viewers, the CEO has mentioned a few things about the role of the secretary and all that. And we have had previous episodes, if you just check on the YouTube channel, about the role of a CS, all those particular things have been addressed. So please go back to the channel, check a few of those things so that you can get the context. So back to you, CEO. Help us about the membership, the drive, and of course, eligibility.
Yes, you've mentioned that one of the challenges we have in this country is governance challenge. And we are totally convinced that partly the reason why we have that governance challenge is because we don't have adequate number of governance professionals to create an impact. And therefore, as an organization which is charged in promotion of governance, we want to have requisite numbers of trained and accredited governance professionals who would create a significant impact on matters governance. And therefore, numbers are very important because there is so much that you can do when you are few. So you've also asked who is eligible to become a member.
You're right.
Any person who has gone to school and done Form 4 is eligible. What you need to do is only your Form 4 certificate, then go to an examining body called CASNEB, Kenya Accountants and Secretaries National Examination Board. If you visit their websites, you see the requirements, and then you're able to take the papers that you are required to take. Now, let me also say, on the part of CASNEB, they give exemptions if you have previous educational background. For instance, if you have done a degree, a diploma, a master's, you may not necessarily be required to do the 17 papers that a Form 4 leaver would ideally be required to do. You find any paper that you have done in the course of your education process, you'll be exempted. And therefore, for the adult learners, you may find within 1 year or so, you have finished your papers. So this membership drive, what we are doing, under the CPSK Act, Section 20, it provides several routes through one can become a member. One of them is by doing the CASNEB papers, which anybody can do those papers, provided you meet the relevant requirement, as I have mentioned. There are also other routes. For instance, if you were an advocate of the High Court of Kenya by the year 2002, again, you are qualified. You don't even require to do any exam. So if you are an advocate of the High Court of Kenya,
you're good to go.
You just come and you get registered. There is nothing else required to do because the Act already has provided you that free entry. If you are an accountant, again by around 1989, when the Act came into force, again you automatically qualify to be a member of the institute. But also secondly, even those who qualified in some of those professions much later, again, you benefit from the CASNEB exams. For instance, for an advocate who has been in practice for the last 10 years, you only required to do 5 papers. So within one sitting, you qualify to become a member. And finally, in the membership drive, we are also targeting members, people who were previously members of the institute, and we are registered for one reason or the other, they are also welcome to rejoin.
Yeah.
And their fees are waived in terms of any previous penalties.
Okay.
And the good news is anybody who is joining within this period of this membership drive,
Yes.
their fees for the year 2025 is waived.
You better take advantage of that. I think there are some people who have accrued. Yeah, so this is the best moment to actually really come in. As we come to a close, want to see you. I just wanted to sit in the seat of someone who's saying, okay, I feel converted. But someone will be asking, okay, what's the benefit? Briefly, what is the benefit of a member, of just being a member?
Yeah. So the benefit of being a member of the Institute of Certified Secretary is the same as the benefit of being a member of any other professional body. So one of the reasons why you get into a profession is to get bread to put on your table. And I can assure you there are a lot of breads
Absolutely.
in the profession. So, but also secondly, is for you to impact the society on what we are talking about, governance.
You're right.
What happens is that when there is a problem,
Yeah.
problems create opportunities.
Absolutely.
You've just described the way there are challenges in governance and ethics in this country.
Yeah.
So those are opportunities for you who is aspiring to solve a problem, because the institute or the profession gives you a platform through which then you're able to contribute to resolution of this governance and ethics challenge. The other thing is, as an institute, being a membership organization, we provide platforms for members to network, members to develop themselves, both career-wise and otherwise. As a matter of fact, we normally have some social activities. The other day last year, some of us went to hike Mount Kenya in October. Yes, did you summit? Myself, I was not there, but there was people who managed. This year, another group was planned to go and hike Mount Kilimanjaro.
Yeah.
So we also organize such platforms for members to network, even for their own social growth. So in a nutshell, there are quite a number of benefits for one becoming a member of the Institute.
Wow. And of course, even there's that community as well as of belonging. And I love that. And I hope you can summit because that's a great challenge. Let's look at this here. Anyway, lastly, when I see it, I even calling you when I see it because your title has FC. So sometimes people may think it's a cabinet secretary, but which is okay. I wanted to talk about your support to members because yes, people have been converted, but they also want to know, in my career growth, is there any support that the Institute will be giving me? And of course, finally as well, considering a career in governance and corporate secretary practice, what would be the message to all the professionals who are watching you today?
Yes, one of the roles of a membership association is to support its members. And how we do that is on a number of fronts, one of them being advocacy.
Okay.
To ensure that the interests of the professionals who are practicing as certified secretaries are taken care of. Number two is also to support in the same line, whether we are talking of research, relevant research that would help in doing so. And because as I pay my subscription to a membership organization, I'm also expecting that if I'm running my CS firm, for instance, to offer governance services, my firm would grow because I'm a member of the Institute. So we also invest in that a lot to support those firms. Currently, there is a program we are running. We call it Governance, Ethics, Mentorship and Internship Program.
Okay.
Short from GEMIP. And what we are doing through that program, every year we take 100 students and young members, those who are aspiring to become governance professionals, to mentor them through an 8-month program and also get them internship on matters governance and ethics. So we are also looking at enhancing the capacity of such people for their respective future roles in matters leadership and governance. And finally, just to list a few, is the issue of capacity building, which the Institute has invested a lot over the years in capacity building its members, again, on the relevant areas of professional growth.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you so much, Bona Jeremiah, for this conversation. I mean, it's such a wake-up call to everybody who is watching that, listen, anything to do with governance is up to us. And, the Institute is here as well to prepare us and, of course, make Kenya a better place. Once again, Asante Sana for your time.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Asante.
There you have it, the inaugural episode of the Weekly Governance Voice Season 3. Please make sure to subscribe and, of course, give us your feedback on all our social media channels just appearing at the bottom end of your screen. Thank you so much for your time. See you in the next episode.